Tonight on CTV News, get an inside look at the live NASA feed with astronaut Steve Swanson. Plus, see what place the CSU climbing team climbed to at the Collegiate Climbing Series National Championships. And see an inside look at the exhibition that hosted seniors' artwork. All this and more on CTV News.
At 3:30 today, a student was washing out a glass container in the CSU chemistry building, and a chemical that was in the container reacted to the water, which caused the container to explode. The student has been transported to a hospital for cuts on his face. Another student who was nearby had a minor cut on his hand. There's no damage to the building, and the building was not evacuated. Stay with CTV for further updates.
Good evening, and thanks for tuning in to our last Tuesday CTV News show of the semester. I'm Caitlin Conley.
And I'm Carson Bush-Jost. Just as the devastation left behind from Sunday's fatal tornadoes in the Midwest and South came into full view Monday, a fresh round of deadly twisters barreled through the region, bringing the overall death toll to more than 2 dozen. At least 11 people were killed in Mississippi from the wave of tornadoes that spanned the state, while Arkansas suffered some of the heaviest damage and the largest number of deaths so far in this multi-day outbreak, killing at least 15 people on Sunday. President Obama declared a disaster for Arkansas this afternoon, sending federal aid to assist in the state and local recovery efforts. In addition to this, at least 3 have died in Alabama. Other states affected by this deadly twister: Iowa, Georgia, Kansas, Kentucky, Louisiana, Missouri, North Carolina, Oklahoma, and Tennessee.
Earlier today, students had the opportunity to live chat with astronaut Steve Swanson on the International Space Station. CSU students were able to ask Swanson questions, and those live streaming the video were able to hear the astronauts' responses and see his demonstration of some of the equipment used on the recent spacewalk. Thank you, NASA.gov, for letting us use your footage.
The House Committee voted 6-5 on Monday not to make post-traumatic stress disorder a 9th medical condition for which Colorado doctors can recommend pot. The state of Colorado allows marijuana for all adults over 21, but sponsors wanted PTSD added to the medical list. Physician groups testified against the proposal. The state health department has twice rejected petitions to add PTSD to the list of qualifying medical marijuana conditions.
And although medical marijuana was not approved for PTSD, it has been approved for something on a musical note. The Colorado Symphony Orchestra said today it will play a series of cannabis-friendly fundraising concerts sponsored by the state's growing pot industry. The state's only full-time professional orchestra hopes the unusual shows, dubbed Classically Cannabis, the High Night Series, will boost its audience as it struggles with dwindling attendance and shrinking budgets. The event is strictly BYOC, Bring Your Own Cannabis, according to an event listing on the Symphony website that says pot will not be sold.
The University Art Museum held a unique exhibition today to showcase some seniors' artwork. Today at the UCA was the Master of Fine Arts thesis exhibition. This event is a showcase for Master of Fine Arts students who are graduating to show off their artwork. This work consists of various styles such as painting, drawing, metals, sculptures, and graphic design. Keith Yench is the program and exhibition coordinator at the University Art Museum in the UCA.
This year we had 9 students graduating, so it's quite large. We typically don't use the entire museum space, which is about 3,000 square feet. We have 3/4 galleries that we can use in this space. So this year we've been able to use the entire space.
The 9 students displayed many different styles of work in the museum, as they are free to compose whatever they want. The museum is very exclusive, however, and will only take some of the most exquisite works.
When we come to the point where we're selecting works, our hope is that their project or their thesis is at a place where it has a level of quality that can sit well within a professional museum space. And then we can edit out certain pieces depending on the amount of space we have available.
The University Art Museum holds 6 to 8 different exhibitions every school year, so be sure to check them out. And now we have Kelsey McAllister in the Weather Center. How's the weather looking, Kelsey?
Carson, you know, we saw some pretty gusty winds today, and that's still hanging around for right now. You see 25-mile-an-hour winds outside right now, outside of the north-northwest, so it's still relatively gusty. We saw about 35-mile-an-hour winds earlier today. 43 degrees currently here with partly cloudy skies. Now for tonight, we are going to cool down just a little bit. We'll be in those 30s up and down the I-25 corridor. The high country will be in the teens. So Caitlin, Carson, we're going to see some pretty mild weather, and it's going to warm up pretty nicely as we get into the 7-day forecast.
Thanks, Kelsey. And coming up after the break, Kelsey will be back for her full week forecast, and I really hope those gusty winds die down.
Plus, Elizabeth Prosty will join us for the latest in Rams sports and the Avalanche. Don't go away.
This is the moment I knew. His future had no boundaries.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org.
Welcome back to CTV. I'm Kelsey McAllister with your last Tuesday update for the semester. Well, we saw those gusty winds today, but we also saw some relatively mild temperatures. We saw about 51 degrees here in Fort Collins, 50 in Denver, and 49 in Colorado Springs. We were a bit chillier in the high country, but on the eastern plains, we saw slightly cooler temperatures. They did have very gusty winds, and we've all been under a high wind warning for today. So it's been very windy today, like I said earlier, over 30-mile-an-hour gusts and sustained winds. Tomorrow's highs, we're going to see similar temperatures yet again. Those low to mid 50s here for the I-25 corridor. A little bit cooler as you head down south, but Pueblo is going to be a little bit warmer. High country will be in those 40s, 61 degrees there for Grand Junction. The 7-day does look pretty nice, though. I do have about a 10% chance of some rain showers tomorrow. If anything, it'll be like today, just a couple isolated pockets moving through and then moving out relatively quickly. We'll warm up nicely as we head into the weekend. We'll see temperatures in those 70s by the weekend. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, we are going to have a gorgeous rest of the week. We just have to get there. Carson, Caitlin, Elizabeth, it's going to be gorgeous the rest of the week.
Thanks so much, Kelsey. Elizabeth Prosty is now with us for the latest in sports.
That's right, Carson. The CSU football team continues to work hard during the offseason, but quarterback Garrett Grayson worked a little too hard. The rising senior re-injured his clavicle this past Friday moving a couch. The injury required surgery, but fortunately the quarterback hurt his non-throwing arm. Head coach Jim McElwain said, quote, "He'll be back in action by the time we start our summer strength and conditioning program in June," end quote. While star running back Capri Bibbs left CSU to enter the NFL draft, another running back is headed to Fort Collins. Transfer Treyas Jenkins will join the Rams this fall from Grossmont Junior College, where he rushed for 1,139 yards and 15 touchdowns. And on the basketball court, one player's career is over at CSU before it even began. Monday, junior forward Shane Bohannon announced his decision to enter the 2014 NBA draft. His departure leaves 2 open scholarship positions available for other players to join the Rams. Saturday was a great day for the CSU track team as they won the Jack Christensen Invitational. Highlighting the meet was the men's 4x400 relay. They finished first with a time of 3:10.48, breaking a 38-year-old school record. Head coach Brian Bedard said, quote, "Breaking a school record from 1976 is really good to get off the board, and I think it was really nice that they did it in front of our alumni," end quote. The Rams had 2 meets left before the Mountain West Championships in May. And the first round of the Stanley Cup's playoffs has been a roller coaster for the Avalanche. They entered Saturday's game tied 2-2 in the series, where the game went into overtime once again. 18-year-old Nathan MacKinnon scored the game-winning goal to put the Avs up 3-2 in the series. Unfortunately, they lost to the Wild Monday night 5-2. The 7th and final game will be played here in Colorado Wednesday, where the winner will play the Chicago Blackhawks in the second round.
After the break, check out what place the CSU climbing team placed at their national collegiate competition.
And see what furry friends participate in the 5K over the weekend.
And stay tuned to see where a Dunkin' Donuts may be opening up in Fort Collins.
My new dad teaches me all kinds of stuff.
I wouldn't use this one.
He helps me with my decision making.
Never.
And he's even teaching me how to drive.
And that's why cars have bumpers.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are.
33 teams from universities around the country competed at the national championship for the collegiate climbing this past weekend. With over 200 individual competitors attending, CSU placed second in sport climbing, first in female sport climbing, and second in male speed climbing. With over 40 members on the rock climbing team, they're hoping this will help them become an official sport of CSU. The Colorado State University climbing team just returned from competing in the USA Climbing Collegiate Climbing Series National Championship in Melbourne, Florida this past weekend. The CSU climbing team secured a third-place team victory with individual podiums going to Owen Graham, Delaney Miller, and Andrew Lee. I was able to talk to both Owen and Delaney about their experience with the climbing team.
So the competition is broken into 3 different sections: bouldering, sport climbing, and speed climbing.
Well, I started climbing when I was 12, and I discovered it because I went to my friend's birthday party at a climbing gym, and immediately it was just something that I fell in love to.
This past Monday, the CSU climbing team made a presentation in order to become an official sports club instead of an organization, and should hear back about the conclusion shortly.
The meeting went well. I think we are going to be a sports club. We'll see. Hopefully we'll find out either in the next few days, in the next few weeks. It all depends on some other things falling into place.
This was the first year that the CSU climbing team has attended the CCS National Championships, and they intend to continue doing so in the years to come. There are few universities nationwide who have climbing as an official sports club, and this would only allow more variety of sports at CSU. The CSU climbing team is still not an official sport, but hopes that they will be, and will be able to compete and continue to grow both through CSU's and national climbing community. Dunkin' Donuts has been missing in Fort Collins since 1998, and that might be coming to a change by early fall. Franchisee Doug Patterson said he is a day or two away from signing a lease for 2801 South College Avenue, relocating the walk and roll that closed in October with Dunkin' Donuts. The Massachusetts-based donut and coffee chain has been expanding rapidly in Colorado and now hopes to land one back in Fort Collins where the traffic of college students is appealing.
Last night was Colorado State University's Best Teacher Awards. This event was hosted by the CSU Alumni Association, where 24 were nominated and 6 were selected as 2014's all-around best teachers. Congratulations to the teachers who won.
With this beautiful spring weather, students and community members have headed to the Oval for a twist on your average 5K. CTV reporter Meg Dudenhofer tells us more.
Runners hit the pavement Saturday morning with their loving companions. The VTH held its annual Fast and Furious 5K in support of their Companion Care Fund. We spoke with the race director, who tells us how this event helps those pet owners struggling financially.
The proceeds of it go to both the Companion Care Fund, which is a fund at the VTH for people to apply to if they've exhausted all other financial resources. So they've applied for pet care or pet aid, and it's for life-saving procedures, and it's for any animal.
After the race is finished, runners and their pets can walk from booth to booth to get a look at new products and talk to local companies about what they have to offer for their pets.
We have about 20 sponsors from different companies, different veterinary clinics, pet foods come, and then we probably have like at least over half of our race is all community members.
Liz is one community member who tells us why she is running this race with her dog.
It's a great opportunity to get out and enjoy the spring day with my dog, as well as support the teaching hospital.
Well, that's all the time we have on CTV News this evening. Thank you so much for watching our Tuesday news shows, and we greatly look forward to seeing you next semester.
Good luck to our weather anchor, Kelsey McAllister, who's graduating, our audio operator and station manager, Katie Spencer, and our prompter operator and entertainment anchor, Riley Adams. We appreciate all you've done for the CTV, and we'll miss you more than you know. Good luck on finals, Rams, and have a wonderful summer.